Chapter 4. Sunday mornings followed a regular routine in the Holdsworth house. Breakfast was always boiled eggs. Afterwards, it was Harry's job to clear the table and wash up, while his mother and father went to the sitting room, she to read her book and he to do the Sunday Times crossword. Harry was only allowed to interrupt the quiet of what Mrs. Holdsworth called "my morning off" to make and bring them coffee. Otherwise, he was expected to leave his parents in peace and amuse himself. On the whole, Harry was fairly good at amusing himself, but there were often times, especially on Sunday mornings, when he thought that to have a friend to talk to play with, would be nice. Now he was thinking, as he finished the washing up, "I've got one." He made the mugs of coffee and took them to the sitting room. On the sofa, his mother turned the pages of her book. In his favourite chair, his father frowned at the crossword puzzle, his pencil tapping against his teeth. In his cage, Madison was silent. "Thank you," said Mrs. Holdsworth. "Have you done the washing up, darling?" "Yes." "Thanks," said Mr. Holdsworth. "You any good at anagrams, Harry?" "No." Madison gave a loud squawk. "I hope that bird's not going to make a filthy row all morning," Mr. Holdsworth said. "I shan't be able to concentrate on this crossword." "Shall I take him up to my room, shall I, Dad?" said Harry quickly. "Good idea." Harry's mother looked worried. "But he might—" "No, he won't," Harry said. Madison made a small, rude noise. Struggling not to burst out laughing, Harry hastily opened the cage door and then, with the parrot perched on his shoulder, fled from the room. For the rest of that morning and every possible opportunity during the days that followed, there were plenty, it was half-term, Harry and Mad talked and talked and talked. In the safety of Harry's bedroom, or whenever they were sure they could not be overheard, they jabbered away 19 to the dozen. 40 years in the company of Professor George Holdsworth had given Madison a great liking for the art of conversation. Harry learned a lot about baseball and American football and life in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and a little about Madison. Madison had learned a little about cricket and soccer and life in Greenwich, England, and a lot about Harry. There were so many questions to be asked. "How old are you, Harry?" was one of the first questions from Madison. 10. 10, eh? That's great. That's swell. Why? "Well, you got to appreciate that your great-uncle George was well over 50 years of age when I first chipped my way out of my egg." "Don't get me wrong, Harry. George was a great guy. I'll never forget him. But he slowed up a lot towards the end. It's gonna be a whole heap of fun living with someone your age. Incidentally, why aren't you at school? You on vacation?" "No, it's half-term. We get a week's holiday." Madison rolled his eyes. "I guess I gotta learn the language," he said. "What kind of school you go to?" "Primary." "Primary, huh? I guess that figures. You like it?" "It's all right." I was lucky, of course, born with a natural way of learning." "How?" "Parrot fashion," said Madison gravely. "Oh, Mad, you are funny. And I had the best possible teacher, an emeritus professor of applied linguistics. Not many parrots could say that." "Not without a lot of practice," said Harry, straight-faced. "Gee, Harry, you're the wackiest." And as well as talk, there was play. "What sort of games do you like playing, Mad?" Harry asked. "You mean football and stuff? Guess I ain't built for that, Harry." No, I mean games that you and I can play together. You know, like cards." "Now, cards," said Madison, "are real tricky. Trouble is, my foot ain't designed for holding playing cards any more than a pencil, let alone managing a deck of cards or shuffling or dealing. No, what I like are board games, you know, where I get to use my beak to pick up the pieces. George and I used to play a lot." "You mean like dominoes?" "Yeah." "Drafts?" "Yeah, drafts. Never heard of that." Harry fetched a box of draftsmen and a board from the cupboard where he kept all his toys. "These?" "Oh, checkers. That's what we call it. Sure, we played checkers. I don't suppose you know how to play chess." Madison put his head on one side and stared quizzically at Harry. "Why not, boy?" Harry was thinking. "It's just too crazy to imagine a bird playing chess. It's just too difficult." "There's nothing too difficult about the rules of chess, Harry," chuckled Madison. "It's playing the game well that's hard." "I'm not much good," said Harry quickly. "Oh, baloney! You'll beat the feathers off me. Come on, let's have a game right now." A couple of days later, Mr. Holdsworth came into the room when Madison had picked up a queen. And when Addison had just that minute picked up his queen. Quick as a flash, he juggled the piece in his mouth. "Anyone would think you were playing chess with Madison," said Harry's mum. "They would, wouldn't they, Mum? You haven't swallowed the thing, have you, Mad?" said Harry when she had gone. "You'd better check." "Exactly what I'm gonna do," said Madison, producing the queen from her hiding place and making his move. "And what's more, Harry boy, I kind of think it's checkmate." I found Harry playing chess against himself. Today, his mother said later to his father, he had even stood that bird on the other side of the board pretending it was his opponent, I suppose. "Harry spends his time in a land of make-believe," his father said. "Well, it's because he's on his own so much." Madison saw it a little differently. Typical only child. Like me, he thought. Expects everything to be done for him. Thinks washing up on Sunday morning is a week's work, and from the sound of things, doesn't do a lot at school. But I guess he's a real nice kid at heart. Just needs someone to shake him up a bit. Like me, he thought. And I kind of like his screwball sense of humour. For the whole of that first week, Harry derived enormous enjoyment from the concealment, that means the hiding, the concealment of the parrot's powers of speech. So that means he enjoyed hiding from his parents that Harry could speak, that Mad could speak. Part of him longed to see the look on his parents' faces when the secret was revealed, but it was such fun fooling them. At the end of the day, he would lie in bed hugging himself with glee at the memory of things that had been said. "How's your talkative friend, Harry?" "Oh, fine, Dad. Of course, it's strange for him after living in America so long, but he's settling in nicely. He really likes it here." "I imagine he told you that all himself?" "Yes, of course." "Honestly, Harry," or "Why don't you just try to teach that bird something? Just a word or two." "Oh, I don't think there's much I could teach him, Mum." "Why not? Is he too stupid, do you think?" "He's absolutely bird-brained." And off Harry would go into fits of giggles, falling about, clutching his tummy and crying with laughter. Afterwards, on more than one occasion, Mr. Holdsworth said to his wife, "Sometimes I really do think Harry's mad." "Oh, if only they knew," said Harry after Madison had been with them for a week. "Don't you reckon it's time they did, Harry boy? A joke's a joke, but I'm getting kind of tired of sitting around acting like a dumb cluck in front of your mummy and daddy. What you say we blow the gaff?" Harry thought. Mad probably knew best, come to think of it. Mad probably knew best about most things. He stroked his friend's head. "Okay," he said. "Tomorrow."